The man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever. So the Lord God banished him from the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which he had been taken.
Remember where the story of creation ended? God had created all things and it was a good creation. Human beings had been made with a spirit, a soul, and a will within us, created in God's image and designed to experience relationship with Him and enjoy God forever. And so God placed our first ancestors in a garden designed specifically for them. Many of us will know them by the names Adam and Eve, two Hebrew words meaning man and life giver, which have become common names because of their use in the Bible. In these perfect surroundings, God walked and talked with them, enjoying the creation that He had made and the pleasure that human beings had found within it. God gives Adam and Eve only one instruction. They can enjoy all of this garden that God has given to them, but they're not to eat fruit from one particular tree. You must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat of it, you will certainly die. But then a new character enters the story, the great enemy. In these opening chapters of the Bible, the enemy appears to our ancestors as a serpent, described as the craftiest of the wild animals. This enemy wants to cast doubt on God's goodness and use deceit to tempt human beings to turn away from God. I wonder if you've ever had a group of friends whose relationship has been rocked by a lie. As soon as mistruth enters the picture, we become suspicious of one another. We start to mistrust one another, accuse one another, until eventually the relationship is damaged. That's the enemy's strategy in the opening story of the Bible. Did God really say that you would die if you ate fruit from that tree? Because that's not true, the serpent says. It's not a command, it's not an instruction, it's just a half-truth designed to get Eve and Adam to take their focus off God. And that's exactly what happens. And they eat. They do the one thing that God had asked them not to do. There's a word that we use in the Christian faith, sin. It means missing the mark, doing the wrong thing, turning away from God. And in Genesis chapter 3, sin had just entered creation. Something which had been perfect has now fallen into imperfection. Like any parent, God disciplines His children for their disobedience. And throughout the story of the Bible, we'll see how human beings live under those consequences for the rest of human history. The relationship between God and His beloved creation was fractured. But as for the serpent, God had a message of foreboding. Right here at the start of the whole story, God tells the great enemy that one day there will be a man who will crush him and all of his lies and all of his evil. God had always had a plan, and it was just beginning to unfold.